This is John for John's Beat. I'm back on the beat, virtual interviews. Kacy Standohar, how are you?
Good. How are you, John? Good to see you.
Good, man. It's so good to see you. I haven't seen you since the Bandit season, and of course now it's insane. So it's good to see you at least this way.
Hey, you too. I hope it's all back soon because I miss being at the ballpark.
Oh yeah, me too. Just being out there and the colors and the sun and the fun and the players. It's
I know.
So
I know.
what have you been doing in the absence of sports, in the absence of what you do?
It's been difficult for me. I really do love watching baseball games and preparing for the softball season. I spoke, recently with some of the Bandit staff and just kind of playing it by ear, and so they were excited to have me back as the Bandits digital reporter and on-field reporter this year. So hopefully that's still a thing. I talked to some of the players a little bit. I know they're excited to get back if that's possible. I don't know if a season's going to be kind of squished into July, August, or what's going to happen depending on how the rest of the situation pans out. But yeah, I've just been kind of hanging out, watching a lot of Netflix. I feel like I've things to watch on Netflix. Like I'm like bored with it already. And I recently finished a puzzle too, which was very challenging. So
I saw that on social media. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. It was an Italy puzzle of Positano, and I was like, that would be nice to be there right now, but can't
Oh, God. Yes, yes. So you're very busy during when you're working. You're very busy. You've covered a lot of different sports. So obviously, we'd all like to be out of the house now. But are you using this time as a little bit to recharge, or are you using this time and just bouncing off the walls?
I'm definitely recharging. I found myself cooking more, which I didn't do a lot of because I was so busy with covering the Bandits and the Thunderbolts out in at Ozinga Field and doing all these different things and doing stuff for CN 100 sports. And I was bouncing off the walls, like you said, for so long. And I think I wasn't cooking as much and I wasn't kind of charging my batteries, like you mentioned. So this has definitely been a downtime for me where I'm able to rest. And it's kind of weird because I'm an extrovert and because I'm a bubbly person. I want to be out there and doing all those things. So it's been a good lesson for me to sort of slow down, refocus, remember what's important. But yeah, I'm still excited to kind of go back to normal eventually.
Oh yeah, we all are that. Now you're from the Ohio area, right? Columbus.
Yes, I lived in Columbus for 3 years, but my family's from the Youngstown, Cleveland area.
Okay. How exciting was it for you to actually work for the Blue Jackets?
It was incredible. I honestly feel like I will talk about that experience when I'm a grandma someday. Hopefully, I will be like, kids, I worked for an NHL team, and it was just such an awesome experience to be in a pro hockey arena every game night and just the atmosphere, especially when they made it to the playoffs 2 years in a row, and we were there for those playoff games and the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it was just electric. Like the noise and just the fans and seeing people, who have season tickets who come week after week and recognize you and remember you, and little girls that have signs or say they want to be a Blue Jackets cheerleader when they're older. It's something like that. It's just really cool to see that fan base grow because they are a small market team, and they had success, and it stinks that the season was so shut down this year because we don't know where they would have been and what would have happened with they swept Tampa last year and they had such a great season. But working for them is honestly one of the best things I've ever done, and I'm so glad that I had those 2 years experience with them because it was just unmatched.
And you've kept your loyalty to them. Have you jumped on the Blackhawks bandwagon at all, or are you down the middle?
I
Tough
am
questions.
It is a tough question. I am still a Blue Jackets fan through and through. I still have a jersey. I still, have all the gear. I like the Blackhawks. You know me. I'm a sports fan in general. So I'll root for a team to root for a team. And now that I'm in Chicago, I'll say I'm less of a Blackhawks fan and more of a Cubs fan. I know I'm an Indians fan at heart, but
Well,
I
different leagues. That's okay.
I feel like I can manage and I can grasp with the fact that I can root for the Cubs more than I can root for the Blackhawks, which is strange because 2016 was so painful for me for the World Series, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that had to be really tough.
It was because it was heartbreaking. I was home with my family watching this game, and the Cavs had just won the NBA championship, and that was like the best day of my life. And then, the Indians were so close, and it just fell apart with that rain delay and everything. But I guess if we're gonna lose to a team then it had to be the Cubs. You know, they deserved it, and now I've grown to like the Cubs.
You know, there's a positive answer from you.
Yeah.
Now, who would you say is your favorite Cleveland Indians player? Either past, present, whichever.
I was a big fan. I love Francisco Lindor, obviously, but I was a big fan most recently of Yan Gomes, who was one of their catchers who went to Washington. And then in the past, I grew up loving Kenny Lofton. You know, my dad would take me to games in the 90s, and just being able to see him play was cool. I always liked the number 7, too, so I liked him.
You know, he played here on both sides of town here, actually, for a little bit.
Right,
We loved him here.
There you go.
Now, I have to ask you about soap operas.
Oh, goodness. Okay, let's hear it.
Your quarantine thought of the day was, why are soap operas still on? How much do these people get paid? What are your thoughts on soap operas?
I did say that. Okay, so my late grandmother, used to love them, and I would sometimes pretend to be sick from school when I was younger and go hang out with her and watch Days of Our Lives at like 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And I never realized it's pretty bad acting. And I feel bad saying that because I'm not an actress, but it's not good. And I feel like they've been running for so long that people are just like obsessed with it. And I know that it's a way for actors and actresses to get into the business. And if they're not, you know, up in movies or TV shows, then they're able to do that. But I was just kind of shocked because we're never home at 1 o'clock in the afternoon normally, but now we are. And here I am like watching the news and seeing what's going on with the coronavirus and, you know, whatever Mayor Lightfoot has to say. And then the soap opera comes on and I'm like, is this still a thing? But well, I guess it is.
It's not much of a thing though, because there's really only, I think, like 2 or 3 on now, where there used to be like 10, 15 back in the day.
Always the same drama, you know, there's the same storylines, but I digress. I shouldn't bash it. I was just kind of like, I've never actually sat down and watched this and paid attention to the plot line.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion on it. You know, you're a reporter. You can do these things.
Do you like them, John?
You know, I watched them when I was a kid because I had two older sisters and my mom, so I was kind of forced into watching them. I have befriended a few of the actresses and actors over the years. I've done some interviews with them. Cool. Very nice people.
Sure.
And they take it like it's real personal to them because most of them have been on a long time and they've developed their character so much that it's almost a part of them.
Yeah.
It's really kind of cool to see it. It's a little different because most of the characters you play one and then you move on to the next one, but these people become their characters for so long. So I've got a weird appreciation for it, I guess.
I didn't think about it that way, you know, and it's truly like it's almost like a big part of your life because you do it for so long, and so it becomes like another, like, I don't know, another person in you.
Yeah, and you're there not every day, but you're there 2-3 times, whatever, a week, and it's the same people, and
right.
You go through heartaches and heart attacks, and the whole drama. So,
yeah,
but
I feel bad.
Yeah, well, back to sports, so real quick.
Sure.
You played softball in high school.
I did.
What position did you play?
I played second base.
Oh, my position, yes.
Yes, I was a second baseman. I was okay, but I ended up leaving that part of my life and going into dance and cheerleading and doing majorette for the college football team that I went to college for. So I don't know. I always liked sports, so that's where it came from. And my cousin, who I'm very close with, was the shortstop, so we were like turning double plays all the time, trying to field the ball, But it was fun.
So with the bandits in the field out there, do you ever take any batting practice? You ever try to hit anything out there?
Awful. That's a good idea, but that's a good idea for a segment I should do this summer if we have, where I try to take batting practice off them, because I would be so bad. They are amazing, and that ball comes in so fast. I mean, I was playing like slow pitch. It's not even the same.
Well, I'll give you a tip because I would love to see that. I would love to see you do that. Here's my tip, though. I took batting practice with Kristen Sandberg last year, and she didn't take it easy on me.
I was going to say, she doesn't do that.
Honest to God, like, I think I got like 15 pitches, and I probably touched about 8 of them, and maybe about 3 of them went past the pitcher's mound. I had one nice shot into right field, but that tells me my swing was so late. So if you're going to do it, tell her to ease up on you, or whoever it is, tell them to throw them a little slower. Yeah.
I'll see. I don't know.
You want to hit it.
Right, exactly. I was at the Bandits camp last year, and these girls are teaching the younger girls, and one of the little catchers came up and asked Kelly if she would pitch to her, and she did, and it was crazy. She did not let up on her either. She threw her all kinds of like rise balls and everything, and I filmed it, and I was like, this girl's gonna remember this forever.
I know. I'm an old guy, and I'm gonna remember, batting against Kristen forever.
I love it.
So aside from the sports, when this whole thing ends, what is your where would you like to go? A dream trip, bucket list trip, the first place you'd really like to go?
That's awesome. That's a good question. I would love to go to Italy, and I know that things were crazy there before us. So if that's all good, that's been a dream trip of mine because honestly, this is embarrassing. I have my passport, but I've truly never been out of the country. So I would.
To Canada?
Never even to Canada.
Oh, okay.
Say that, I know, and I'm a hockey fan, but I've never had the right opportunity yet or the right time. I've always been involved with different work and weddings, and I just never really found that time to go take like a European vacation or anywhere out of the country. So I would love to go to Italy someday, but honestly, anywhere. I just love traveling. I just want to be able to go out and not worry about this whole thing anymore.
Well, cross your fingers. Hopefully soon it's going to happen. Kacy, before I let you go, is there anything you want to plug? Any websites, any social media you want out there?
Sure, yeah. So, John, we're going to be doing this thing in quarantine now that we're going to be, shelter in place for another month at least. I'm starting a little Instagram live sort of podcast show that I'm going to be calling Bandits Candids. So it's going to be me with one-on-one with the players and kind of like what you're doing right now. Like, what have you been doing during quarantine? Some rapid fire questions with some of the players. I'll have guests, all different players. I think I might interview Haley Wagner first. I'm going to see what she's up for it. I know she just finished school and stuff, so she was very busy. But yeah, and just kind of like talk to them about the season. I can take questions from fans, on Instagram stories, and then just have the fans get to ask their question, and hopefully Haley and I or whoever I interview will be able to answer those questions. So just some more content for the Bandits page, just for them to have during this time to keep things going, keep things busy. So look for that soon. I will let you know when that's ready to go and when I do my first episode.
Oh, we can't wait. Without softball here, at least it's some contact with the team, with you, with the sport, with outside life.
Exactly. So that's what I want to do to create content, not only to keep my interview skills going, like I know you're doing, but also for the fans, for Bandit Nation too.
Well, speaking on behalf of Bandit Nation, we appreciate that.
Great.
And Kacy, I appreciate your time. I'll let you get back to your soap operas, or whatever you're gonna watch. It's all good.
Thank
and
you.
I thank you for your time. And it really was good to see you.
You
Be
too.
well, and we'll see you soon, hopefully, right?
All right. I hope so. That's the plan.
All right. Well, thank you, Kacy.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Bye.